Found it. Okay. Hello. This isn't the video that I wanted to put out just before Christmas, but it is an impromptu video in response to the weekend's news of this new Tier 4 system and the new Christmas restrictions that have come in. And I know that would have hit a lot of people with shock, a lot of disappointment, frustration and sadness. But what I wanted to do was to get this video out with some photographic advice on creativity. So a video for people with big camera, little camera, phone camera, and give them something to focus on over the next few days. So, you know, I'm not a stranger to feeling anxious and feeling down and upset with things. There's been a number of times in my life where I've really lent on photography for it to help me pull me through difficult periods in my life. And I think, you know, it's fair to say that this is a difficult time. Sometimes Christmas is a difficult time for anyone, anyway, in any situation, for lots of different reasons. But I think this year especially, there's going to be more people than ever that are really feeling it over Christmas and New Year's. So what I want to do is help give some people something to focus on in the next few days. Now, the thing with creativity is the more constraint there is, the more creative we have to become. So sort of creativity is almost born out of confinements and restriction. So whatever situation you find yourself in over Christmas, think about how you can overcome those restrictions with a camera. I've always been really interested in the creative process as a whole, and there was a documentary on a study that I watched. There was this doctor and she was researching the creative process, so creative responses to problems basically. And what she found is the more the subjects disrupted their daily routines, the more creative their solutions to the problems became. So, for example, if you normally pour your milk on your cornflakes, you pour your milk first and then pour your cornflakes on. Or that scone thing, you know, if you're a jam first person, do it the other way around, and that can disrupt that routine. Although if you've got a scone routine in your life, I'm very envious of you. You know, we all fall into routines. Every one of us in our lives, routines are an important part of doing it. And when I'm doing my own photography on a commercial job, routines can be really important. Using the right settings, using the right setup that you do to get your consistent results. But the thing with that is sometimes that seeps in to my personal photography or a situation where I might want to be more creative with it. And so what we want to try and do is to disrupt that and bring in new ideas and take those routines out of taking photographs. So if you're going out for a walk, and quite often you're looking up to take photographs, start looking down or looking across and looking behind you. When you're walking forward, we're always looking right, it's in front of us. Start looking behind and seeing what's happening behind us when we're doing a walk. Things like that can really help start to shift what you're looking at and what you're thinking about and the things you photograph. If you're in the house, maybe you're quite often in one room in your house. Maybe go in and take photographs in a room that you're not very often in. Maybe find objects that have been hidden away for a long time that you can pull out of the cupboards. You know, one of the projects you could do is you could photograph everything, all the food that's out of date in your cupboards. I could have a great time at my folks finding all the baking ingredients that are completely out of date, and that could be a little project in itself. You know, finding the oldest sell by date in a cupboard. So you know, just changing that mindset and looking at different things can produce new projects and new subject ideas as well. And not just what you look at, how you look at it as well can change. So maybe you've got a lens that you haven't used for a long time. Maybe you could use something to cover your lens or cover over your phone. You know, think about ways of seeing differently and ways of changing your perspective and forcing you to change how you approach the photograph. One of the things that I did in one of my art projects was actually to I wrapped an old camera up in foam and gaffer tape, and I left a little gap for the lens and for the self timer, and it was an old Zenit camera, so it was pretty robust anyway, and I'd put the self timer on, and then I'd tie it to a rope, and then I'd just chuck it with the self timer on, just as it would take a picture. So it was this kind of accidental creativity where I didn't actually have I didn't have any control over the creativity. The camera in free fall would take that picture, and that was one of my early ideas of sort of just challenging this idea of creativity and trying to think a little bit outside the box. So hopefully that will sort of give you some of your own ideas, better ideas, I'm sure, for you to explore and start taking photographs. So if you want to share your photographs, as always, you can share them on the Walk-In Photography group on Facebook, and I would love to see them, as will lots of other people will enjoy and get a kick out of seeing how creative your photographs have become over Christmas and New Year's. So I hope you do have a great Christmas and New Year's, and I will be around over the next week or so with some more posts and more ideas for you.